just hit top bins. 1-2 touch, yeah, we're locked in. I got the skills to make the girls sing, and the geezers too, yeah, we're doing this thing.
Hello and welcome to episode 24 of One Game at a Time. What a fun one this is going to be. I am Seb O'Neill, joined as always by Alessio Crocci and Mark Talbot. How are you two?
Yeah, I'm good, Seb.
Very well, Seb. Thanks for having me.
Of course, it is my pleasure as always. And as always, we'll start with our picks of the week. And we have a special guest. We have an overseas international guest, guys. Can you believe it?
This is exciting. It just shows how far our pod is going.
Exactly. We have an overseas guest and we also have a local guest. So can we please welcome David Grant and Johnny Keko. Johnny and David, how are you two?
Hey.
Hello.
Good, how are you?
I feel like I've driven just as far as David has. I've gone all the way down to Sturt, and he's all the way in Bali.
Bali.
Good. So I guess I'll start first with my pick. What this is, we've never had this many people on at the same time. This is fun. So I'll start with my first pick, which correlates with you, Johnny. It was my first time with you.
Whoa.
At Kilburn.
Oh, okay. Yes, it was.
We had a great night, didn't we?
It was. It was a delicious night, and I'm talking about the roll in this instance. It was a very tasty experience. There's chicken souvlaki, another one to add to the menu. It's great to see that new facility finally open up. I was there a couple of times last week, once with you on the game day, also a bit earlier with on the Wednesday night to have a chat with the coach and captain. But it was good, good facility. I think it's up there with one of the best for a spectator's point of view. To be able to sit in those grandstands, it's probably the best views of a football pitch. And also comfort-wise, in that those conditions were terrible that night. But yes. How good was that, Seb? It was terrible, but it was comfortable with you.
Absolutely, it was lovely to spend the night with you. It was a good game as
12:30
well.
as
I
well.
suppose. Yeah, I was just saying we were there pretty late. We won't keep you for too long, Johnny. But of course, while we have you, you're at Corinna ahead of the big cup final, which we'll talk about later on. A huge occasion for Sturt in particular. How is it feeling up there at Sturt ahead of such a big occasion?
As you can expect, the energy here is very, very high. They're very excited. They're in good spirits. The team are all happy. It's no different to when I was here. When was it? 5-6 weeks ago, and they still hadn't won a game yet at that point. They just won their first game on the weekend. I was talking to Louise, the captain. She even said they're struggling to remember the songs, the lyrics to the songs a bit as well. So they haven't sang it too many times. So they're going to practice it. They had some practice on the weekend, but they got to practice it before Sunday just in case. But they're looking forward to the fixture. And Frank as well. He's got a good head on him. He's a good coach, and I think they're ready to go and just experience something special. That a club that's only won one league game so far this season in 15 rounds, to be able to go to this place on the weekend in the cup final and chance to win some trophy and silverware. So they're very happy and all laughing and joking at the moment. So yeah, it's been good.
Absolutely, it's a game very much looking forward to, Johnny. Again, you're up at Sturt. Before we let you leave, we'll let you have your own prediction of how you think it's going to go on Sunday. Of course, you're hosting the pre-game show.
Yes.
So, what do you think's going to happen?
It's going to be a tough one. I feel bad because I like both teams, and I've spoken to both coaches and captains now, so I feel like a soft spot for both. But I think it's going to go down to the wire. I say this all the time, extra time, and depending on how I reckon an upset, maybe Sturt, but I don't know, it's a hard one. It depends on how the first 15-20 minutes go. But if Sturt go 3-0 down, it'll be hard for them to come back. But if they're 1-0 down early on, I reckon they can come back at equaliser, and I think it'll be done in 120 minutes. But I think it's hard. West Adelaide, Sturt, I don't know.
Sit on the
120
fence,
minutes, that's
mate,
all
right
I'm saying.
there.
I am.
Yeah, you've got a fence right there still on it.
I don't know. It's a hard one. I think West Adelaide look to be the favourites, but I think Sturt's a team that can actually pull something off. The spirit of this team to do it, especially in the cup. I think if any team can knock off West Adelaide, it's Sturt at this point in time. So 120 minutes. That's what I'm saying.
Very, very interesting. Of course, plenty of content coming out with the local game. Football SA have interviews coming out soon as well. So plenty of content surrounding this cup final. But Johnny, we'll let you enjoy your night. Hope you've enjoyed your time at Sturt and enjoy your time with us. And we'll see you on Sunday for the big game.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And I've got to say, it's not as wet and cold as the last time I was here with David. So, yeah, it's nice. Actually, nice down here. It's the first time ever I've been to Sturt, and it's actually good weather. So,
thank you, Johnny. Actually, any final questions we want to give Johnny before he leaves us? Anyone have any questions for him?
Questions?
Nothing from me. I'll let him go.
Are they practicing penalties tonight at training?
Oh, I didn't ask him that. They haven't started training yet, so they're pushed back a little bit. So I don't know. I'll ask him before I leave, and I'll message her.
Yeah.
I think they'll be practicing everything because they definitely want to win this weekend. So definitely not practicing karaoke, although I asked them that question just in case they had any celebrations. I know West Adelaide did karaoke last time they won the cup, so I asked them if they did karaoke as well, and they said they can't sing. And they can't even sing their actual song properly either. So it's all jokes, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, thanks for having me. And look at David. He looks so good in that Indonesian jersey.
Absolutely.
Or was that the Ronaldo jersey, Portugal?
No, it's Indonesia's shirt, but the locals all think I'm wearing a Portugal shirt.
Thank you, Johnny. We'll talk to you
boys.
soon, and thank you for joining us as well.
Thanks for having me, boys. It's a pleasure, and good luck with the show. I'll be listening on the way home.
Oh, we'll try to be nice to you.
Please be. And also, I was talking to just quickly, I was at Cumberland last night, and Terry Westwood and a few others were talking about your podcast, so they love it and they love listening to it. So just thought I'd pass that feedback on.
Absolutely, very good to hear. Thank you, Johnny. We'll see you soon. See you on the weekend for the big game.
See you then. Enjoy. I can't talk. Enjoy the night. See you later.
Thank you, Johnny.
See you, Johnny.
Well, how fun from a local guest. We'll move on to David. David, Johnny said, but give us a rundown of where you are in life, I guess, at this moment in time.
So we are in Bali just now. We, being myself and my wife, are in Bali just now on a 8-day retreat. So we are here and we having a little holiday. We got here this morning on an early morning flight, and we're here till next Thursday. And I tell you what, the place is a buzz about this women's cup final. They can't wait. I've spoken to a few of them in the streets about this, and they're very excited about it. So I'm in Bali on a wee holiday. Call it a long weekend. I'll be back next week.
Absolutely. And speaking of those locals, we've got some predictions from them, David. Do we want to see them?
Sure. You've got them?
Yeah, I've got them. Yeah, of course I do.
It's the Women's South Australian Cup final this weekend. Sturt are playing West Adelaide. Who do you think will win? Sturt.
Yes.
West Adelaide. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? You pick.
What?
It's a tipping competition.
I have to guess Sturt or West Adelaide.
Who do you think will win?
West Coast?
Yeah, West Coast.
Woo!
Thank you. Ta-da. Hello, everybody. We're here in Bali.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Get it. Wayan.
And they're very excited about Sturt versus West Adelaide in the Women's Cup final this weekend. Who are you going to pick to win it? Sturt or West Adelaide?
West Adelaide. West Adelaide.
West Adelaide seems to be the pick here.
Winner.
Terry Makassar.
Who knew there were such big fans over there, David?
Oh, they can't wait. It's all they're talking about. I tell you, the streets are just a buzz for it. That's all they're talking about. They can't wait. Super excited.
I want to know those names again, David. Can you pronounce them for me?
I said Terry Makassar. I meant to say Terry Makassi, which is thank you. The trouble is I keep saying tiramisu because I'm trying to anglicize it so I remember it. And then what I did was I made up like a 70s footballer's name, Terry Makassi. It sounds like a guy who might have played for Liverpool in the 70s. And that's how I remember how to pronounce Terry Makassi, which is Indonesian for thank you.
No, I was talking about their names though. I was like, you didn't say their names again.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I'm supposed to be meeting them later. They've got something called Boom Boom for me.
Is Boom Boom something you go to or try? I think is the big question.
I've got no idea what it is. They just kept telling me it'd be fun, so I'll go along. Probably take Kim with me.
Yeah, so I mean, looking at that, David, two go on the way of West Adelaide, one the way of West Coast. It's pretty overwhelming over there as well.
Yeah. Nobody's back Sturt. Put it that way. Yeah, they're backing everyone except Sturt, including West Coast Eagles. Yeah.
David, we'll move on with your pick. While we have you, what is your pick for the week?
My pick of the week is Metro United and their big win last weekend over Adelaide Uni. God, I've forgotten, it's 3 or 4 days ago. Just a game that's
country
probably
now.
Yeah, a game that's probably is enough for them now to stay up. Big win for them, and a special mention also to one of their players at the back, Sarah Taylor, who's a listener to this show. She must be the other person that tunes in. Lovely girl, got a chance. She's had a great game. I've seen her play a couple of times this year, and I think she's just a great player at the back for Metro United. And turns out she is the older sister of a guy who plays at Salisbury, whose name's Taylor as well, a guy called Matt Taylor. And I know that Alessio and Mark are both big fans of Matt Taylor, talk about him a lot. But I tell you what, his sister's better than him. So from now on, whenever you talk about Matt Taylor, I'm going to refer to him as Sarah Taylor's brother. So Metro United and Sarah Taylor, they're my picks for the week.
Thank you, David. Were you going to stay with us, David, or were we going to let you go?
There's a pina colada with my name on it down at the pool, so I might go down there.
That sounds good. We'll let you enjoy the rest of your holiday, David, and we'll see you next week as well.
Okay, thanks so much for enjoying me.
Thank you, David. On with, I guess, the rest of the show. Mark and Alessio, back to normal scheduling as of now. Mark, will go to you with your pick.
Yeah, my pick of the week is relegation and league winners, really. So we've had 2 teams confirmed as relegated, unfortunately for them, which was Adelaide Victory in State League 1 and South Adelaide in the NPL. With their losses on the weekend, that's confirmed that they are unable to stay up. So mathematically they're down, which is, like I said, a shame for both clubs, but hopefully they can both bounce back stronger next year and rebuild and do what they need to. And then the other one is, obviously, we knew Campbelltown were doing very well in the Women's League, and they were confirmed as champions with 3 games to still play. So massive win for them on the weekend to confirm that they're 2024 champions, as we see there. And like I said, I think there's still 3 or 4 games remaining. So they've done it, to be honest, at a bit of a canter. So it'll be exciting to see them next year in the WMPL, I think, if they can keep that squad together. And they'll obviously look to strengthen in areas as well. But they're going to be in a very interesting league next year with them coming in if they can stay as they are. So congratulations to Campbelltown there.
Absolutely, and I'm still very much on with my prediction of them going the season unbeaten, so I'm very excited to see where that heads. Alessio, on to you for your pick. You had some football that you didn't have to play in your home ground.
Yeah, finally a team in red got a win there at the Summit Sports and Recreation Centre. And it was quite triumphant win. I mean, I can't remember. I don't think we've ever won 4-0, but they definitely did. And it was a great spectacle for everybody there at the Summit. I mean, that pitch, I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen it or even walked on it, but for an NPL game, it really makes it a great watch, the amount of pace that it's played at. And even I think both teams probably struggled with how quick it was playing in the first 15 minutes or so. They probably couldn't get out of their defensive halves too much. And it really was quite an even game until probably the last 15, 20 minutes where Adelaide United got a few quick goals and finished the game off. But otherwise, there was 2 goal line clearances from Adelaide United. Yeah. I think one of them was from Harry Crawford, and I can't remember who the last one. Maybe it was John Paul and Bembe. I
feel like maybe both of them. He did another one, no?
I remember he made 2 really decisive blocks in a row from a corner, but otherwise, I can't remember who got the last one. Maybe it was one of the other defenders. But either way, it goes to show that this Adelaide United team are really raring to go, and they've got enough players here that are obviously not featuring with the A-League team in pre-season, and some of them are. But they're really getting some form to the end of this season, and it puts a little bit of a closer call on that top 6 now, with Adelaide City and them both holding on to that spot in there. And obviously Adelaide City had a few chances as well, you can see there as well, and made a couple of changes as well. We saw the first start of Rafael Leai. Didn't really get too much into the game, which was not great to see. But I think we were talking about one of the young centre-backs, though, Lewis Kylo, who obviously was in the United system not too long ago as well. And it looks like he's holding his own at the moment in the base of defence for Adelaide City. And I think by all accounts, talking to some of the players this week, he's earned himself another start for next week. So I'm interested to see how he goes in the season so far. But I think Adelaide City are just struggling to find their best team at the moment. And that was evident to see some of the players on the bench today, which are usually starters, like Nicholas Bukos, Patrick Karachia, etc. But yeah, I mean, it was a fantastic game. You could hear from the live stream as well how loud it got after every goal and how loud it was at the start with all the kids accompanying the players. It was a great day all out, and the weather didn't really impact it too much. I mean, everybody was under the covers of the grandstand as well, so it was good to see all those seats filled as well, which was, it's fantastic. That's what you want to strive for in these tougher regions and clubs in this league who have these stadiums.
Absolutely, and we did just see a little highlight pass by that caused a bit of conjecture about whether or not this was a penalty, but I think in the end, we all agreed that it was in the end on Luka Ivanovic there. As you just see, I think just on the back of his heel, he was caught.
Yeah, I think the main conjecture was that it looked like he took on that contact and kept going, and then when he saw he ran out of space, that maybe he just fell down a bit soft. But otherwise, I think I clarified it on Twitter with a couple of people who were not too happy with it, and I think everybody kind of agreed in the end that it was a penalty and they didn't see it on first viewing. But otherwise, it's a striker in form again. 2 hat-tricks in a row, scored in all of the preseason games, I think, so far as well with the A-League team. So he's going to have a really big season ahead of him, Luka.
Absolutely. Very much an A-League player, sort of just waiting for the season to start. We'll go into the week's results, starting with State League 2. Modbury Vista beating Eastern United 1-0. Cove FC 4-0 over Port Adelaide. Seaford beating Adelaide Hills Hawks 2-1. A 1-0 draw between Noarlunga United and Gawler Eagles. Pontian Eagles beating Adelaide University at Kilburn 2-0 to put them atop of the table. And Mount Barker United losing 4-2 to Northern Demons at the Summit. Which games caught your eyes, gentlemen?
Alessio, do you want to go first, mate, or do you want me to take it?
I guess I'll go first.
You say with a smirk on your face.
I just didn't know if you wanted to get it over and done with and then leave it, you know?
Yeah, I think I'll talk about, I think I saw, there was also a game that was played last night, Gawler Eagles versus Cove, which ended 3-0 to Cove.
It was
and 2 red cards for
Gawler.
Gawler.
Game as well.
Yeah, 2 red cards for Gawler, and we're playing them on the weekend, which is going to be very interesting. But I guess I'll talk about our game and the Pontian versus Uni game, which is obviously coined as a top of the table clash, played at Kilburn as well. But yeah, I think that obviously puts a little bit of a gap now at the top of the table in State League 2. And obviously Kashindi as well, getting back on the score sheet after a few weeks off. And yeah, obviously it was a massive win. I thought, I was talking to Raf Frasina before the game. I didn't realise it was even played at Kilburn, but I said maybe they got the Greek backing and a bit of support from the home fans, since they are a bit of a Greek Cypriot club. And it looked like it paid off as well, and they've got back to their winning ways as well. Our game versus Northern Demons, I mean, it was probably a good watch for the fans as well, especially with some of the new signings for Northern Demons as well, impressing as well. I think they got a young player from Playford, and they got another attacker from Easton who've come into the team since we last played them. And it looked like it was a game of 2 halves, really. We probably dominated the first half. They went down to 10 men. Their captain, Daniel Cox, got 2 yellows in 5 minutes to be sent off. And then missed about 2 chances, I think, in the first half that were solid on-goal chances. and then they obviously got the penalty just before halftime, which really slowed our momentum. And into the second half they went, and I think if you look on Dribble, I think it was 3 goals in about 5 or 7 minutes, all from the same player who also won the penalty in the first half. So he had a day to remember, especially Masoud Tamori. And then I think we got a consolation goal about 20 minutes from time from Jack Miller. But otherwise, yeah, it was just another day to forget for us, where we had a lot of potential and had a big lead against a top 6 side, but unfortunately their consistency paid off, and that's why they're in the top 6, and that's where we are. But otherwise, I think around the leagues as well, Moby Vista versus Eastern, that was a quite big one as well. I think most of us tipped Eastern after their recent form to get a big result. And I think Vista as well, usually when they win, it's by 3 or 4 against whoever they play. But obviously only a 1-goal lead. You got some of the footage here, which is good to see as well, because obviously they live stream Eastern. But yeah, it looked like they had quite a few chances as well, Eastern United. But the keeper, who's obviously just come back from an injury as well, the Moby Vista keeper, he's been out for quite a few weeks, but really wanted to play these last few games and when they're getting into final series. And it looks like it's proving dividends with the form they're carrying into at the moment. Obviously, yeah, it was a 1-goal win for them, and that's all they need at the moment, especially with a lot of these players getting suspended for cards and red cards as well. So a big win for Moby Vista, and I'll let Mark take the rest of the South teams. I think they are. You're on mute as well, Mark. You're on mute, Mark.
I don't normally put it on mute. Sorry, guys. Cove against Port. You just never know. At the moment, I just never know what's going to happen with Port, which side's going to rock up. So they've been really inconsistent. So I'm not surprised that Cove put 4 past them. Cove are building a good side down there. When you look at their team on paper, in the transfer window, they also picked up Michael Good, which is a big help to them at the back in their back four. When you look at the experience he's got coming from MPL, so they've picked up some good players. Connor Higgins has actually gone back to Cove as well after leaving South Adelaide as well. So they've picked up some good players. It's a big win for them because that really sort of cements their top 4, top 6 aspirations, and they're coming into some form sort of at the right time as well. Seaford with a big win over Adelaide Hills, which I actually picked Hills in that game. To be honest, I was a bit unsure with Seaford's form, and they're playing a lot of youngsters at the moment. Like they're going a real young side. I was chatting with young Busbridge just recently, and just saying he was just talking about how they're really going with a lot of youth. He played on the weekend. He was probably one of the older players, along with Tate, the goalkeeper. So massive win for them, because that then just puts them only 2 points out that top 6. So that 6th spot currently occupied by Eastern is quite tight when you've got Eastern, Seaford, Noarlunga 26 to 23 points. Port Adelaide even still sort of hanging around on 22. So it's quite tight. There's still teams playing for that last top 6 spot, which, as we all know, a good run in finals could see you go from 6 to promotion. So you get a good run, you never know what can happen. And like I said, some of the teams hitting form at the right time. So, but overall, Gawler Eagles no longer a draw there. Doesn't help either team really. So I think this weekend's a big weekend for Gawler. Gawler and Mount Barker. I know it seems a little bit odd saying that, being 10th and 12th, but if Mount Barker, I think, can get the win this weekend, yes, you heard me, Alessio, then it just closes that gap a little bit on those teams fighting for 6, which means they're closing that gap. They're getting better. They're getting results. And each year they'll progressively get better. So for them, for something up in their heels, I think it's great. And again, hopefully Adelaide Hills can find their form. But coming up against a tough team this week, so we'll have to just keep an eye on that. And overall, I think Pontians. I picked Pontians to beat Uni. I just think that their form is great. I mean, they've lost one, obviously, the week before, but they seem to be doing really well and could be on course for promotion. So it'd be very interesting to see how that one pans out in the next 3 games.
Absolutely. And looking at the table, Pontian on top with 46 points. Adelaide Uni with 44 in second. Cove just behind on 43 with a 5-point gap in front of Modbury Vista. Then going towards the bottom, Gawler Eagles on 7 points. Adelaide Hills Hawks on 12. Mount Barker on 16. Port Adelaide on 22. With Northern Demons, Eastern United, Seaford Rangers and Noarlunga United sort of in that mid-table. On to the WSL next. Modbury Jets 3-0 over Modbury Vista. South Adelaide 6-0 over Fulham United. Elizabeth Grove versus Adelaide Jaguars was postponed. Campbelltown, of course, with that 4-0 win over Western Strikers, meaning they will be playing WNPL football in 2025. And Croydon losing to Cove 8-1. I suppose for me, the big game that round, I don't know if it's for you, is probably, I guess, a bit of a shock. Modbury Jets beating Modbury Vista to put them over Vista on the table as well.
Yeah, I think I might even pick that. But yeah, obviously a big win in the Modbury Derby, as they say. And it's going to be interesting to see now who can push for that second spot in to play against either, it looks like it will be at the moment, either between Flinders, Uni or Sturt, I think, who might be the ones who...
Or Adelaide Uni.
Yeah, I think that's what I said. So Flinders. Yeah, Flinders, Uni, Sturt. I think it's the bottom three, is at the moment.
Yeah,
no,
not Flinders.
I thought you said, yeah, that's all. That's why I got confused. Yeah,
okay.
That's why I thought you said 2, and I was like, no, I swear. No, got you.
Yeah, but otherwise, yeah, I think that was a big win for them as well. And yeah, obviously we've talked about the Campbelltown win that obviously sealed their promotion in an emphatic way as well. And otherwise, we saw Croydon again score a goal and didn't lose by like a ridiculous amount in their standards as well. So it's good to see them get back on the track. But otherwise, I think the rest of the results around the league were I guess, predicted and stuff. As besides obviously postponed game.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Alicia. I do like the fact Croydon were able to get that goal, and again, as you said, they only lost 8-1, which was, in comparison to the rest of the season, actually a good result for them. So hopefully they're building for next year and able to sort of take some good steps, what they've done this year with scoring some goals, reducing the goals they've conceded. So hopefully they can carry that into next year and be a better side and maybe do something a little bit more next year, which would be great for Croydon, the club itself, but also the team. So it's good to see them get on the score sheet again.
Looking at the WSL table, Campbelltown sitting pretty on top with 45 points and promoted. Modbury Vista just behind on 33 points. Modbury Jets bridging that gap to just 2 points. Then Jaguars following behind them. Going towards the bottom, Croydon at the bottom on -3 with Fulham on 6, Cove on 10, and then Western on 18 with South Adelaide and Elizabeth Grove on 21 and 25 respectively in the mid-table. On to State League 1. Fulham United losing 1-0 to Vipers. Adelaide Victory losing 3-0 to Adelaide Cobras. Adelaide Blue Eagles beating Salisbury United 3-2. Playford beating West Adelaide 2-1. Cumberland 3-2 over Western Strikers. And Sturt Lions losing 7-1 to West Torrens Burkalla at Corinna. I suppose that one being the biggest shock of the round, basically because of the scoreline, really.
I was going to say, yeah, it's not really a surprise package, but I think the scoreline probably is what surprised everyone. I mean, Sturt they started off really poorly this year, as we know. Then they turned it around, had some great form through the middle of the year, and they started to tail off again a little bit. But you wouldn't expect them to bow out with a 7-1 loss. So very surprising result in that regard, just purely based on numbers. And we see here that Sakani scoring, which he scored 2 goals. I think he scored 2 or 3. 2 of his goals were in goal of the week. With that finish there, it was just a sublime finish. His other goal later on, and just quietly, that's a beautiful goal. I'm not sure how that was in goal of the week, by the way.
There's about 3 or 4 in this game, yeah. They were all
and this was Sakani's next finish. This is just outstanding, and that's just great finish. and he moved obviously in the transfer window from Olympic, stepped down a league effectively here with Burks, and has really stepped into the club quite well and the team quite well, scoring goals for fun. So, I think the surprise really is just the fact that the result, more so the scoreline than the result. So not a great day out for Sturt. The other game that I'll jump on is actually Cumbly against Western Strikers. Cumberland just finding some really good form at the right stages. I mean, they've 4 wins in their last 5. They beat Strikers here 3-2. They're sitting 4th in the table. So Terry Westwood's he's really getting them to sing off the right tune and singing off the same sheets, and they're just playing for each other. They're finding goals. I mean, that little flick there from Harley Jet, ball across. And Munro is in some great form at the moment. He scored quite a few goals of late. He scored 2 in this game. So they're just really finding some form, and it doesn't bode well for Strikers now. They're, what are they, 8 points? 8 points adrift of Vipers. So they can still stay up. They can still stay up. They've got to win the remaining 3 games and hope Vipers slip up along the way, but they're really sort of struggling at the moment. But they've lost 5 on the trot that we know that I can see here. So a little bit of a worry for Western Strikers. And for me, the last one I'll jump on will be the Blue Eagles and Salisbury United game. Blue Eagles coming out 3-2 winners, which is a great result for Blue Eagles because they been very inconsistent recently. Win, loss, draw, loss, win. So good result for them. Great free kick. Very clever finish there. Just not sure why the keeper took so long in lining his wall up. I couldn't tell you that. Couldn't tell you why, but he took his time with it, and good finish there, and a great setup from De Silva. Think they're the sort of things we'd come to expect. And then he obviously, De Silva, not obviously, but he then went and scored 2 goals himself to finish the game off with a late goal from Salisbury's recent signing of Jackson Bullen. So he's another new signing for Salisbury. They signed 4 players in the window, and one of them's come up here and scored. But yes, Salisbury still sitting in the top 6. They're sitting 5th, which is great for them. Blue Eagles just sort of pushed up to 3rd now on 32. But that win was probably needed for Blue Eagles. With 3 games to go, they want to take some form into finals. Like I said, they've been a bit inconsistent lately. So, good win for them. And I said Salisbury probably outshone what everyone expected them to be doing this year. So great for them. And the train's still rolling, Seb.
Absolutely. Alessio, what caught your eye?
Yeah, even you didn't talk about the Vipers game, right?
No.
No, it's all yours,
that was a big one that I think I even predicted in our score in our tipping as well. And yeah, it was obviously a big win for them. It looked like a bit of a. I guess he didn't really know much about this. The guy at the back post when it came to him, but they all count the same. And he's actually a good friend of mine. Jack McDonald went to school with him, and he was our first 11 coach after he graduated as well. So it's a big win for Vipers, and obviously they're not at the moment contending with the relegation spots, but even to just put a little dampener in Fulham United's promotion party as well, or their finals campaign as well at the moment. But other than that, as you said, I really agree with you the same way about Cumberland United, how their improvement with the service to Nathan Munro as well. He's a good friend of mine as well, and he just seems like when you put the ball in the box, that's all he needs: 1 touch, 2 touch, a header, that's it. Like a lot of teams, I think, have a lot to learn from Cumberland about obviously maybe not just having like the Strikers just putting it on their feet and letting them just get win in the air or just get a little nick on it instead of having to get them in the build-up play the whole time as well. And they've got a lot of youngsters as well, Cumberland as well. So we also saw one of them score a 30-yard screamer against Adelaide United just last night as well. So they've obviously got talent in the ranks that is ready to come on as well. But other than that, which was the other game that you hadn't talked about yet?
Victory and Cobras.
Victory and Cobras, yeah. I think there's another Harper's party, that one. Both kinds as well.
Mate, that's half their team, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they've only got 2 at the moment. I'm pretty sure. I think they have the keeper. But otherwise, yeah, looked like it was a bit poor defending there from the right back of Adelaide Victory, and it seemed like the Harpers were on fire again, and it looked like, it's just a couple of long balls and flick-ons, but took it around the keeper nicely here and a simple goal. But yeah, it looks like that's the end of Victory's run in the State League One. I mean, they've been in there for quite a few years, and even last year they were probably a bit stiff not to even make the finals when they were quietly contending against it. I think they beat both the top teams and the teams that got promoted last year, and maybe missed out on just the final day. So it's unfortunate end of the run for them, and I'm sure we'll see them and maybe a different name next year. But it's always a good place to go as well, Adelaide Victory. It's a nice old stadium, and it's a grass pitch that I think even Adelaide United play a couple of friendlies against them a few times as well. So a well-respected club as well. So I think we're going to see them they're going to come back in not too distant future as well. I think that's all. Yeah, I think the other games.
Playford and West Adelaide.
Oh yes,
what more can you
definitely.
say about Playford?
This one actually. I mean, it's again a team that we usually see beat teams by 3, 4, 5 goals, 6 even the other week. But they obviously struggled a little bit against West Adelaide. An early set piece here off the foot of Stephanopoulos, who I think a couple of them almost make up half the team as well at West Adelaide. But and then it was a long servant of the club, Daniel Ryan. Again, he always seems to finish every game, and especially in front of his home fans as well. And then it just turned out that it was nothing left of that half until the 93rd minute, where their big money signing, their big number 9, Christos Penendis. That's what you pay the big bucks for. A last-minute winner in front of the home support as well, and that really keeps their title charge alive and almost completes it if they get a win this weekend. But yeah, that's massive points for them, Playford City, especially with Bacala. Look like their form is on the up as well right now. So the game when they play each other this Friday night is going to be absolutely massive.
Absolutely. Looking at that table, Playford on 40 points, West Torrens Bacala just behind on 37. So if Bacala do get that win on Friday, they'll still only be equal, but that goal difference is relatively close enough that it could swing in the final round if they stay equal. Blue Eagles behind them, as well as Cumberland United, on equal amounts of points going towards the bottom. As we said, Adelaide Victory already relegated, Western Strikers in danger, Vipers in possible danger, and then West Adelaide, Sturt Lions, Fulham, Cobras and Salisbury and make up the rest of that middle of the table. On to the WNPL for last week. West Adelaide's first game at Kilburn, 5-2 the way of them. Nicole Blackett getting a hat-trick. Adelaide Comets 3-0 over NTC. Sturt getting a win over Flinders United 2-1. Salisbury Inter beating West Torrens Bocala 5-2 at Jack Smith Park. And Metro beating Adelaide Uni 3-1. Some very interesting results in the mix there.
You're right. I was just getting the ladder up and just making sure I got my details right. But for me, I think one of the big wins, obviously, Sturt and Flinders. That result there, Sturt, as we know, as we now know after talking to Johnny, that's their first win of the season. 2-1 over Flinders, which it brings Sturt up to 10 points. Actually takes them to 11, and that puts them above Adelaide Uni now. So we know that Uni have been struggling this year, but they had that buffer that Sturt were always just slightly behind. But with that win, and they lost the week before, but they'd picked up those 3 valuable draws in a row as well. So Sturt just coming into form at the right time of the season to effectively stay up. When you think about it, I mean, we know that it's guaranteed one goes down. So at this stage, that's Adelaide Uni. And then there's a playoff. And I think, going from memory, I don't think the WSL club has ever won the playoff with the WNPL side. So if they can hold on to that 9th spot, then they're in a really good chance to stay up and build. And Frank can really take them forward again next year. which the aim with this year would have been to stay up. As simple as that, coming up from the WSL, that would have been just let's stay up and consolidate. And if they can manage to do that, Frank's done a great job there to do that. Flinders, for me, a little bit of a worry. They've gone off the boil recently. What was keeping them in games earlier in the season seems to have disappeared for them. Mm-hmm. So a bit of a worry, but I think they've probably got enough they've got enough. I mean, they're 4 points clear of Sturt, so that should be enough to stay up. And I'll talk about the other game for me, Comets and NTC. Comets with a big 3-0 win over the NTC. I would have expected it to be a little bit closer, to be honest. The NTC have been a good side this year. So I mean, Comets have been excellent this year. They've only lost 3 games this season. So they've been on a great season, but just some great goals there. That's just that attack there. No goal there, but I think awarded with the penalty. So, but that's just purely from hard work and graft there. So the Comets just, like I said, they're second best team in the league for a reason. I just expected it to be a little bit closer, to be honest. So great result there for Dan and the girls at Comets.
Absolutely. I guess I'll probably go next with that game at Kilburn, which I got to see in person. Again, was a great night for the whole club as a whole. Seeing this game happen, some great goals were scored during as well again. But West Adelaide just really proving themselves to be probably being in one of the best teams in the WNPL in quite a few years. Really just dominating. Of course, they've got the cup final coming up. They're looking to possibly even do the double, if I do say that. But just super, super strong. Adelaide City had some good moments. Chelsea Dorber scoring as well as Valeria Guiardo. Both good goals. Guiardo's in particular was very, very nice. But who else but really Nicole to get a hat-trick on their first game at Kilburn. Someone who's pretty much embodies that team, really. It's the first person you think of most of the time when you think of West Adelaide, and was very happy to see her get for hat-trick, which I actually predicted with Johnny at the game, and he'll back me up on that. So just saying that. Mallory Mullen as well was really good as well. After coming on the bench, she'll be involved in the cup final, I imagine, on Sunday in some way. But again, yeah, just West Adelaide way too strong once again. But Adelaide City showing better signs towards the end of the season as well. Alessia, to finish with you.
I was just going to quickly say there, Seb, that Milan finish, the first one, with the outside of the boot back across goal, was a very tidy little finish. That she took that very well. And I just did want to say on the West Adelaide thing, they have lost Rachel Quigley for the time being as well. So there's a massive hole there in the fact that she just is such a good player that they're still able to go on and win an important game relatively easy.
Well, that's the thing as well, because Nicole played 9 for the game, really. And she's normally out on the wing, but she played 9 for most of the game and scored a hat-trick. So I don't know what the approach will be for the cup final coming up. Of course, they'll have an actual goalkeeper in goal. I've had Leah Otter in goal for the past 2 weeks. Only conceded 2 goals, to be fair, against Adelaide City and Comets. But I imagine she would probably play on the outfield in some way, whether or not she's seen her as a Rachel Quigley replacement off the bench, whether or not she'll start in the cup final or Nicole will continue to play as that 9 will be very interesting. I guess see how they go ahead with it.
Which was the last game we hadn't talked about yet?
There is Berkala and Inter and Metro and Uni.
Yeah, I guess first I'll talk about Metro and Uni, and that was the one that David obviously alluded to at the start of our show as well, with the young Sarah Taylor, I think it was. Yeah, scoring a couple goals. I mean, he seems to think that she's a lot better than, she is better than her brother Matt Taylor. But I mean, maybe that's where he found.
She's a good solid defender as well.
Yeah, so maybe they obviously both grew up being defenders as well, with Matt Taylor playing most of his career there until this year, and seems like he's been able to score a few goals this year in the move to the 9. But looks like Uni as well. They came back in this game. I mean, they're still without Tanae Morrison as well. They've obviously promoted a couple of other players as well. I saw them make their debut and on their Facebook as well. But just goes to show that Metro United, they're still a powerhouse in the women's national leagues, and they can still get wins as well at home as well. And I think they're going to be an interesting team to see for the remainder of the season as well, with obviously those grandstands as well getting built there at TK Shutter Reserve as well. It could be a big thing for the women's game as well, with the games that they have there as well. So besides that, I think obviously another solid win for Metro. They haven't had the season to remember as they have in the past few years, but still a solid win against a team like Uni, who have got a couple games to fight for their lives in WMPL at the moment. Otherwise, I think the Salisbury versus Bacala game, I've seen a few goals from this game. I think they were in the goal of the week, I'm pretty sure, at least one.
Yeah, one of them was Signorello's.
Yeah, Jessica Signorello. So obviously they're a high-scoring game as well, but it looks like a couple of the finishes were quite far in the corner as well. Emily Condon is, of course, getting on the score sheet as she usually does in the WMPL or the W League as well. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Salisbury to do. I'm not sure how far away they are from finals at the moment, but obviously they had such a positive year last year and in the last couple of years when they've had their coaches they had. But they obviously still got something to prove as well against a team like Bacala, who seem like they don't really compete too much, but they've had those new signings in Dylan Holmes and who's the other one I think they had?
Izzy Hodgson.
Izzy Hodgson, yeah. So obviously they've got a star-studded team at the moment this year, but it goes to show the form that that's another fantastic goal, that one, that Salisbury to have, and the quality they could retain from last year. They can still really compete with some of the teams in this league as well.
Looking at that table, West Adelaide have a 6-point gap at the top of the table, just in front of Adelaide Comets. Salisbury Inter 9 points behind them, starting to, I guess, sort of secure themselves at least a final spot, whether or not they battle with City and Bacala. Even NTC and Metro all waiting to find out who will get those final few spots. And then towards the bottom, Adelaide Uni on 10 points, Sturt on 11, and Flinders on 15. You would imagine those three teams really going down to the final day to really see who stays up and who goes down in the league. On to the... Oh, sorry,
I was going to say there's certainly some interesting games coming up in those bottom three sides. When you've got Uni, got West Adelaide, Flinders in their next round have got Salisbury Inter and Sturt with Metro. So it's going to be very tough for those three teams to win those next three or a next game for all three of them, to be honest. So it's going to be very tight those last probably 3 or 4 games.
Absolutely. On to the men's MPL, starting with Croydon's 5-3 win over South Adelaide, which condemns them to State League 1 for 2025. Modbury Jets 3-0 over Adelaide Comets. A 1-1 draw between Parry Hills Knights and Adelaide Croatia Raiders, which we were speaking about before, makes it very interesting going in towards this weekend for the relegation battle. Campbelltown 4-2 over FK Beergrab. Metro 1-0 over Adelaide Olympic. And of course, we spoke earlier about that Adelaide United win against Adelaide City. Which one stood out for you? I guess, Mark, your home team, your local, will not be playing First Division football next season.
No, well, we knew that it was going to be tough for them this year. I think we all picked them. Oh, I know I picked them to be bottom 2. I didn't pick them to be bottom, but I thought that they would struggle in a relegation battle, and unfortunately they did. But thing is, this is what they've been like. A great finish, great ball in, good finish there from JJ. They started off really well. I mean, 1-0 after 15. You're sort of going, okay, this is good. They then went 1-1. So Croydon were good side. This is a good finish too. Little back heel there, and just a nice little. Effectively, that was just a beautiful pass into the bottom corner. So, but yeah, I feel for South because they haven't played really that many games where they've actually played poorly. Again, this game they lost 5-3, but when you're chasing a game at 4-3, there's a good chance you're going to concede late on again. But like I said, over the course of the year, there's a couple of games where they did get completely outplayed and deserve to lose, or they did get beat by Comets, I think, both times quite heavily. But overall, they were not a bad side. Just like I said, they'd lose games, but it'd only be by a 1 goal margin. So I do feel for them, but it just allows them now. They'll go down. They'll rebuild for next, or they'll start rebuilding now, and hopefully they can rebuild through the off season and get ready for next year. But Moss again here, knocking long to JJ, and as you'll know, what pressure JJ can put on a defender, and Maupua there, unfortunately, putting into his own net, and JJ congratulating him for the goal, which is always nice. As a defender, you want to see that. But here, yeah, again, like I said, just some issues, just a defensive error cost them the game, really. So another good finish. Bradshaw, Scott there, I think he's finished with 2 in the game, and both of them were very nice finishes. So, Croydon eventually coming away with the win. Not much more really for Southlift to do, but just play for pride for the rest of the season and see what they can do. I think that's pretty much all you get from the Croydon Souths game.
Certainly, Alessio, what stood out to you?
I was going to talk about the Campbelltown versus Beergrad game, of course. A couple doubles for a few people. I think we mentioned that in the goal of the week wrap as well, that it was braces all around for a lot of people. But otherwise, it started off with the former Beergrad captain, of course, Josh Murray, getting a couple goals himself, which obviously he's not a stranger to finding the back of the net at the moment. I think he's very close to getting double digits for the season. He might have even just surpassed it this weekend. But a couple of the goals, obviously fantastic. Even this one was a bit of a double deflection for Ninko Beric, but obviously they had their foot in the door at the moment, Beergrad, in that first half to possibly try and sneak one. But it's unfortunate this next one, I think it's Marino from the camera angle. Oh, no, it might be this one's Murray's second goal, actually. But he sprung the offside trap under the keeper's legs, and sure that bobble in the penalty box doesn't help him either. But the celebration was to a Campbelltown big fan, Anthony Lanzoni. He was in the crowd there, and it was his birthday, so I think Josh Murray dedicated that goal to him. But I think this is the Marino goal now, and it's annoying that pole's in the way, because from the angle that he scored from, I think that's ridiculous. I think he's almost on the byline, on his weak foot, and he's found the roof of the net there after going past the defender. I don't know how he's even finished that, but he's in some fantastic form, and I think you can see from some of the comments as well on their Instagram that they're not sure how he didn't get more of a run for Adelaide United. But this is another classic Marino finish. Turn, cross keeper, keep it low. Looked like it was a very wet and muddy pitch as well by the looks of a couple of people's boots. But then they found a little bit of a way back in the game here. My good friend Massimo Falco getting on the score sheet again. He found the net a couple of weeks ago against Para Hills, and from a similar position, he found the bottom corner this time, and didn't seem like that last 15 minutes, though, was enough for Beergrad to get back in the game. And it's another win for Campbelltown, which is a good thing in comparison to some of their rivals who have a couple of big games coming up as well, Modbury Jets. I guess we could just go straight on to that Metro Stars versus Olympic game. But, it was a rash challenge from Albi Moelis, which looked like it was another kick on the ground, which I've seen a few of them given, and right in front of the referee. I don't think you have any complaints to do there. But otherwise, it seemed like a really off night for Metro Stars. I mean, I watched a lot of the highlights in this game, and this is the only goal that did occur, which was Noah McNamara header from a corner quite late on. But for the rest of the game, I mean, it seemed like a lot of their star men were a bit off. Chittadini had a few in behind 1v1 that he couldn't find the back of the net. Nagamatsu, a bit quiet as well. So I guess it's just one of those things that as a coach, you say, scrappy win. That's 3 points to 3 points, and we march on from there. We don't look at this game again. So it's a big win for Metro Stars, and I think that Adelaide Olympic now are in a bit of trouble, but maybe that red card gives a few people some opportunities to have a run in the first team as well. Notably, one of my cousins, Alex Damasi, he's only come off the bench. He's only come off the bench for the last couple games, but he's been there before for a stint, and they seem to like him. So hopefully he gets back in the lineup now.
Well, Mark, we'll continue on you. Alessio just said about the relegation, a game which I guess will play a massive part this weekend was Para Hills versus Adelaide Croatia Raiders. Well, I mean, you explained it a lot better before than I can, so I'll let you, I guess, tell us the permutations of this weekend after this game.
So it's a very interesting weekend. Obviously, this result doesn't actually help either team really
No.
in the league with a draw. Great finish there from Santos de Oliveira, which is what you expect from him. He's the club captain, and he is an absolute quality player. I actually really enjoy watching him play. So just an absolute great finish. The pitch, very bobbly, very muddy. As you can see there's a lot of white in the goalmouth areas, which I think was sand or hay they were putting down to try and draw the water out and dry the pitch up a little bit. It was quite a interesting day there down there, or should I say up there from my aspect at Para Hills. But again, the result doesn't help either team in the grand scheme of things. But one thing is that I did notice was the goal scorer for Raiders was Trimboli, who has been in some great form of late. He's getting a few more minutes now, starting games, and he's repaying that faith in scoring goals. So great for him. And the Trimboli family. Then the other game I'll probably go into is Modbury Jets and Adelaide Comets. The game I was not expecting Modbury to come out and win by so much, to be honest. I actually did pick Modbury to win, but I picked them with Comets to actually score. But great finish there from none other than Hamish McCabe. And to be honest, I'm a little disappointed in that goal and the fact that his goal celebration is very normal.
I think the cameraman might have missed it a little bit.
We've all discussed it. I don't know. I don't know, but we've all discussed his goal celebrations, and it's something he does every game. There's something different when it goes in. Might have missed something.
Oh, it's like a little. Is it like a bow and arrow?
It might be. Yeah. It looks like it. So So the cameraman just not quick enough, but
still one of the tamer ones though.
It is one of the tamer ones, yes. But yeah, like I said, I would not expect. And do you know what? I was thinking about this the other night with Comets, and the fact that has them losing Alan Welsh because he's out with injury, has that played a bigger part than what we were anticipating? And to be honest, I'm just going to say this once, Vaughan, that's a terrible effort in clearing the ball. I rate Vaughan very highly as a goalkeeper, and that's probably he doesn't make too many mistakes, and that I just think probably really put his side behind there, unfortunately. But he, like I said, he'll win you more games than he costs. So one of those things as a goalkeeper. And then, I mean, look at that save. That's just the first save there is just a great save. Again, as I was saying about Trimboli family, Luca as well, scoring goals for Modbury at the moment. He's getting a bit of a run, and he's repaying that faith as well and actually finishing and scoring some goals, which is great. And Modbury just keep marching on. But as I was saying before about Welsh, I'm just wondering if losing him has had a bigger impact than what they would have hoped, because we know that he's joined the Fireys and that we thought he would not play as many games, but he's played quite a few games this season. But now that he's out injured, I'm wondering if that's going to have an impact for them going into finals.
Speaking of finals in the ladder, we'll take a look. Modbury Jets still sitting top thanks to that win on 38 points. Metro just behind on 37, and then a gap starting to develop with Campbelltown. Again, this could also go down to the final day as well with that finals and top two battle. Adelaide Comets as well without that win falling behind again. Towards the bottom, South Adelaide now relegated, and I guess 9 to 11 in Croatia Raiders, Para Hills Knights, and Adelaide Olympic all in the balance very much so. Mark, what was the permutation again? I was going to say, I don't remember.
So basically at the moment, as we said, there's 4 points between Adelaide Olympic and Para Hills and Croatia Raiders. This weekend, we see Croatia Raiders are playing Campbelltown. Para Hills are playing Adelaide Olympic. So basically what can happen here is there's 9 points up for grabs, obviously 3 games to go. So if Para Hills win, they will go to 25 points. That'll put them 7 points clear of Adelaide Olympic with 2 games to go. So effectively, if Para Hills win, they are safe. If Raiders beat Campbelltown, they are safe. If Campbelltown beat Raiders or if basically whoever wins out of those three teams on the weekend, Raiders and Para Hills, they both win. It's relegation for Olympic, basically. So there's only, like I said, there's 7 points at the moment. 4 points with a win, they'll go to 7 points with 2 games to play. So goal difference is another thing that may have to take into consideration. But to be honest, we're not going to. Olympic have got -20, so that's effectively like a point. They're Para Hills and -6, Raiders -2. So it all comes down to what Adelaide Croatia Raiders do against Campbelltown at 3 o'clock. And then the big game is the Para Hills Olympic at 6 p.m. at Apex Sports. So, yeah, it comes down to that. If Olympic win that, they close the gap to 1 point to Para Hills. And it's 2 games to go, and we see what happens.
Very, very exciting. On to the fixtures coming up this weekend. Of course, we've got the Women's Cup final, so no WNPL or WSL. So all 3 men's leagues are the only league action going on. So we'll start with State League 2. We all ready? Just check.
No.
Okay.
Just a second.
Mate, we've got to give us some. You got to pad a little bit, man. Come on.
Oh,
just so we can get everything ready. Not as quick as you. I've got that many tabs open at the moment. So.
You think I don't have tabs open?
I'm trying to jump between them all. So, all right, what do we got, Seb? Lead the way, mate.
Eastern United versus Seaford Rangers. First up.
It's a Friday night game too. This will be no doubt on the Eastern Facebook page as they do live stream most of their games.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go Eastern United 2-0.
Ooh.
Was that because I'm not backing the South?
No, I was just doing it just for effect. I'm actually with you on that. I think Eastern United will get the win at home on a Friday night. Both teams obviously not much in the way of form. Eastern United lost last week. Seaford won last week. But this will almost secure Eastern's top 6 for me. If they win this game, that will almost secure top 6, and that'll almost set about the rest of the season almost being just playing for pride for the remainder of the year for the lower teams. So I'm going to go Eastern with a 2-1.
I'm going to go with an Eastern win as well. I think a night game at home. I don't think they've lost too many of them this season as well. I'm going to go with a 3-2 win, though, for Eastern.
Next up is Gawler Eagles versus Mount Barker United. I'm going to go a 2-0 win for Mount Barker.
Oh, nice. I'm going for a Mount Barker win as well. I'm going for a 3-1. And a late penalty won by our very own Alessio.
And take it.
Right.
No, he doesn't take him. He doesn't take him.
But I think I might be in with a sniff to start this week, but I don't think it's in an attacking position, so I don't know if I'm going to be winning any penalties. So
yeah, you just run up the field anyway.
Yeah,
he goes on an adventure.
Yeah, exactly.
But I definitely think it's going to be a lot of more of a scrappier game than we'd expect. Yeah. It's not just a bottom versus second, third to bottom team. One with a couple of wins, the other one with not many at all. But on a grass pitch, with the weather at the moment, I doubt that it's going to be fantastic just at the moment. But they've had a lot of ins and outs as well. I'm not sure if those reds that happened from round 17 count as suspensions when they play in round 20.
I'd imagine they would do.
It'll just be the next game.
I'd imagine, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, then they're missing a couple of...
They can't back serve them, so...
Yeah.
They are missing a couple of big players then, and I think a few of it might have avoided a booking, which would have led them to be suspended as well. But I'm really confident in us this week. At training as well, been talking about it as obviously one of our players' 200th game as well, Alex Metanovsky, came over from Seaford. But also, just in my mind, I would just take it as I'm pretty sure if we win this, we are confirmed to finish the highest place we ever finished, which is third to bottom. I just still play it as a relegation battle. Like you're trying to stay out of the bottom two, so win this game and you're out of there and you're safe, I guess. But I'm going to go with a Barker win. I'm going to go I don't know if I can see Gawler scoring.
Yeah, not with you on the back line.
I'd see him scoring 8.
I don't know. I still feel like I might go back. I'm going to say it's a Barker 2-1 win. We never seem to make it easy for ourselves, especially in second half. So I'm just going to go with a 2-1.
I did see, just quickly, Fusco's left Gawler as well.
Luke Fusco, yeah. I think that was a couple of weeks ago. He moved to Fulham. I knew that as well. But yeah.
In the window,
I think that's might be the only one who did move from there in the end. But obviously, we talked about a couple of others who had trials elsewhere. But I think he's the only one who definitely moved.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Port Adelaide versus Adelaide Uni. Uni for me on this one, 1-0.
Yeah, Uni for me. I just don't know what Port team's going to show up. They've actually struggled the last 5 rounds with only 1 win. So for me, Adelaide Uni to get their season not back on track, but get themselves back into a winning format before finals. So for me, Uni, and I'm actually going to go probably 3-0.
I was going to say something similar. I'm going to go a Uni 3-1, or even I might go 4-1 even. But yeah, I was just to mention as well, Raf Racina was his 150th game.
Yep.
Yeah. So unfortunately,
250.
What was it?
250.
250. Sorry. Yeah. Unfortunately, marked it with a torn hamstring and a loss last week. So
yeah.
He also had mentioned to me as well that he's 4 games away from managing 100 games as a coach.
Yes.
So
Yep.
Maybe I told him maybe he can tell Phil Stubbins to be his assistant for a couple of weeks, but I think he still might miss out on it if there's only 3 games to go and he needs 4. So either way, hopefully they can get back on track and he can get another promotion medal.
And did you just quickly on that? He did have I don't know if you saw the Insta feed that he was celebrating his 250th, and I think it was actually in our group chat. One boy said, "Wow, 250." I said, "Geez, he looks good for 250." So what? I hope I look that good. Everyone's like, "Oh, look at this 250." I'm like, "Well, I think someone said, is that gamed?" I was like, "Well, I hope so, because if he's 250 years old, he's looking bloody great."
Next up is Pontian Eagles versus Noarlunga United. 3-1 Pontian for me.
I'm going to 5-1 for Pontians at home. Noarlunga coming off a draw with Gawler last week. Kashindi back on the score sheet. Lots of positives for Pontian for me. So 5-1.
I'll go Pontian 4-0 then.
You've not been kind to your southern teams. Let's see if this continues. Adelaide Hills Hawks versus Cove FC. For me, this will be a 3-0 Cove win.
Yeah, look, Cove are coming into. They're doing all right. Good result last week. They won. Was it last night, Alessio? You said they won last night 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0.
Yeah, so seven goals in 2 games. I actually think it's going to be 11 in 3 games. So I'm going for a 4-0 win for Cove. Their additions in the transfer window have sort of rejuvenated the side a little bit with Goods and Higgins coming in. So yeah, 4-0 for me.
Yeah, I think I was definitely going to go with a Cove win on this. I mean, the pitch is maybe an equaliser, but Cove play on a grass pitch as well. And they've probably played more games in recent weeks than Adelaide Hills have as well. With obviously they played a trial game a couple of weeks ago, played a midweek one this week, and they just seem to be doing better and better. So I'm going to go a Cove 4-1.
Finally, for State League 2, Northern Demons versus Modbury Vista. I think Vista for me on this one, 2-1.
Yeah, look, I'm going to lean towards a 2-2 draw. I know Demons have got no Daniel Cox playing, but with their players that they have got, they can make up for the loss of him because he's such a good leader for that team. And with Vista's goalkeeper back in Kieran Griffiths, if he's playing again, such a big in for them. He's a very good keeper. He's got NPL experience, but I can't see. I'm just going to sit on the fence with this one and just go a simple 2-2 draw, I think.
Yeah, it's obviously in Port Pirie as well. I could see that it's going to make a bit of a difference. I'm going to go a 3-2 Vista win, though.
Very, very interesting. On to State League 1. Friday night, West Torrens Burkalla versus Playford, potentially a promotion playoff, perhaps. I'm Playford 2-0. Playford 3-1.
Do you want to change your mind again, or you're right?
Don't tempt me.
So what'd you go for in the end?
Playford 3-2.
Changed it again. While I think about this one, just a shout out, obviously, people probably don't know this, but Connie is jumping on along with you, Alessio, if I'm not mistaken, on the comms for that game.
Mm-hmm. I think
such a high
Shane as well.
And Shane's going to be on it as well. So we've got the trio on there. So if you are at home and wanting something to do Friday night, if you can't get out because of weather or you don't want to go, stick that one on. You'll be able to watch what I think will be a very entertaining game.
Yeah.
With some, I think, some great goals. If form and the players they've got are anything to go by with Sakani's last two efforts, and then you've obviously got the likes of Poundenders, who, for me, in State League 1 is probably one of the best people in the box you can ask for. Top striker, top lad. So I expect goals, expect entertaining game. So if you do watch from home, have a listen with Connie and Alessio and Shane on the comms. I'm going to go for a 3-3 draw.
Cool.
I said I think it's going to be entertaining. I think there's going to be goals. I expect Poundenders to get one, Sakani to get at least one. So I just think it's going to be one of those games where it could go either way, but I'll go for a 3-3 draw. And the top of the table battle continues for another week.
I'm going to go with a Playford 4-2 win. I think it's going to be goals, like you said, but I think with the chance they have here, Playford, I reckon they're going to maybe even bring a couple of fans, and they're going to try and make this a big occasion themselves. And I reckon there's going to be goals Friday night. It get late in that second half as well, into the 9 o'clocks, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Just quietly about Playford as well.
What have you got? You got a scoop for us, Seb?
Well, no. If we just have a look, right next to Playford, there is a train line.
Yes, there is, my friend. That's the
Gawler
Gawler line.
station.
It's the Gawler line.
It's the same line as
the Salisbury one.
I'm telling you, it's the north. It's what it is. Right.
Nobody backed the Gawler line though against Barker.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't even run very close to where Gawler actually play. It's still actually quite far.
Runs into Gawler.
No, but it's like compared to like Salisbury and that one, it's like right next door. So
it is, yes.
Anyway, on to Western Strikers versus Blue Eagles. Blue Eagles for me on this one, 3-0. And will that relegate Western Strikers if that's the case as well?
Look, they're, what are they, 8 points behind Vipers. So if they lose or draw effectively, there's only 6 points up for grabs for the last two games, obviously. So they're currently 8 points behind. So they Western Strikers have to win. Anything other than a win will see them down. That's if Vipers don't get a result. If Vipers if Vipers lose and Western Strikers win, then they've still got a chance. But if Vipers get a draw or a win, so if they get a draw, they go to 24. They'll go to 18. It's actually goes. They've still got a chance to stay up. Western Strikers
And
so,
Vipers have Adelaide Victory as well. So
yeah, exactly. That was the other thing I was going to mention is that the Vipers are playing Victory. So you'd pick probably Vipers to win that game. So Western Strikers do need to win.
Do you want to commentate 2 games on Saturday, Mark?
No.
Sure, you don't want to.
I'm happy.
You don't want to do Vipers and Victory as well. You don't want to do a
all-
relegation game. Surely not.
It's all good. I'm
me
already
and
doing
David did it
one.
last year. Me and David did.
Yeah, it's all good.
We did the Snake Derby last year.
We
That's
did
what
the
it
Snake
was.
Derby.
We did Vipers and
Cobras.
I remember that.
Yeah, no, I'm quite happy
See?
just doing the one. That's all I can do on the weekend. So, going back to that the Blue Eagles Strikers game, I'm going to go with the Blue Eagles win. I'm going to go on the Oban track, Seb, because it's right next to. If you've got a theory there, I'm going the Oban.
Are you rivaling me?
I'm rivaling the train with the Oban. I'm going to go with Adelaide Blue Eagles. I'm going to go 4-1. And
I'm going to
if
go.
if you're looking how close the Oban track is to Blue Eagles, seriously, I'm worried about you, Seb, because you can hit if you clear the ball hard enough, you can hit the Oban track from the pitch.
I knew that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'll go the same as Mark. I think Blue Eagles is going to win this quite comfortably. I don't think Strikers have much left in them this season, especially against a team with that much quality. I'm going to go a 3-0. No, maybe I'll go 4-1.
Oh, he's going the same.
No, different.
I
4-1.
went
You had
4-1.
4-0. I thought you had
They have 4-0, did I?
Yeah, Seb went 3-0, so I had to go either. Yeah, different.
All right, I'll go 4-0. That's all right. Can handle that.
Adelaide Cobras versus Cumberland United. Of course, Cumberland themselves playing as well. Was it last night or the night before against Adelaide United?
They played last
Night
night against
before?
Adelaide United.
Was it last night?
Last night. Yeah.
Last night.
Tuesday night.
Last
yeah.
night against Adelaide United. They even scored as well, actually,
What was the end score of that game, just out of curiosity?
8-1.
8-1. For Adelaide, Archie Goodwin getting 3, Panache Madana with 2, Zach Clough with 2, and Jovanovic with 1, and Elliott with 1 from Cumberland. Not sure of the first name. If anyone else knows.
I did see that goal, actually.
Cade
Yeah, I
Elliott.
just
It
saw
was
it
a
as
nice
well.
goal, too. It was a nice
30
goal.
yards out, posting it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Adelaide Cobras for me, though, on this one. 2-0.
Wow.
Has that shocked you?
It has. That has.
You mean
good
actually
form?
shocked me.
Tell me why. I want to hear your reason.
I didn't realise Cobras had won the last 3, so I'm going
Called doing your
Cumberland.
research, mate.
Last
Yeah,
four.
no, I've got it in front of me now. Cobras won the last 3.
Four. Oh, they. Where did they play?
3 in last 5, and Cumberland have won 4 in their last 5. But
Last
those last
5.
3 have been 2 1s and 1 loss, whereas Cobras have all been wins.
They
if that made
they
sense.
must have. They played a trial game, against Para Hills, where they beat Para Hills on the 4th of July as well. Must
Why'd
have
you
been in
play a
that
trial
week
game?
break.
Was it Cup? Was that
No,
Cup?
it says
Must have been, yeah, it would've
senior
been.
trial game. Senior trial game, 4th of July.
Maybe they're just celebrating American Independence Day. I'm going Cumberland 2-1.
I will go Cumberland 3-1.
What's next? West Adelaide versus Fulham United at Kilburn. I didn't back West Adelaide at Kilburn because I was tempted not to, and it didn't help me. You also went, nah, I think Sturt's going to spoil the party, and you led me in a bad way. So I'm going to go with West Adelaide to win 2-1.
I'm going Fulham 1-0.
Yeah, I bet you they're going to lose as well.
I'm going to go a draw 1-1.
Salisbury United versus Sturt Lions. If they win and Cumberland lose, like I predicted, this pushes Salisbury up to 4th. And of course, I'll predict Salisbury to win. 3-1.
Yeah, I'm on the train with you, Seb. I think Salisbury will get the win, and I think it'll be quite a tight.
We've gotten on at Playford. We've gone up a little bit, and we've gotten off at the Salisbury one, and then we've gone back on again.
I'm going to go with Salisbury 3-2.
3-2.
3-2.
I'm going to go draw in this one as well. I'm going to go 2-2 draw.
Oh, he's going to choo-choo.
That's not how you say it. That's not how you say it. You got to say it right.
2-2.
He's not. I'll take it. Last up, Vipers versus Adelaide. Victory. Already relegated Vipers. Pretty much just needing the win to sort of, I guess, more secure themselves in the spot. But I think Vipers as well. 3-1.
Yeah, I'm going Vipers as well, which would relegate Strikers. But Vipers, for me, I only go with probably a 4-0.
I'm going to go Vipers 3-0.
Very, very good. On to the men's MPL. What is first? South Adelaide versus Campbelltown. No. What am I on about? Versus Metro. I think Metro in... No. Yes. Metro. 2-0.
I'm going to go Metro as well. However, you've gone a 2-0. I'm thinking it's going to be more. South, they're only playing. They've got Pride to play for now, but it's going to be tough for them whether or not they play a full strength side or they start looking at what they could do for next year. They're the things that enter the mind of a coach when they're now unfortunately relegated. But I'm going to go Metro, and I think Metro are going to find their scoring boots right before finals, and they're going to win 4-1. I think South's always going to go goal.
Yeah, I was going to go pretty similar. I mean, Metro looked quite poor last week as well, missed a lot of chances, but I reckon they've been rammed home this week, and now they're going to find it. I'm going to go 5-1 Metro.
Adelaide Croatia Raiders versus Campbelltown. I will go for a 2-2 draw.
Ooh, it's a tough game. Raiders are playing for safety effectively. Campbelltown don't really have a lot to play for except effectively third spot, really. I mean, they're 5 points behind Metro. They could close the gap, but Metro, again, playing South this weekend. So I don't know if Campbelltown are willing to rest players getting ready for finals and obviously the Australia Cup, which when's their Australia Cup game played?
Next week, 30th of July.
Next week.
So whether they're going to rest some players for that is going to be an interesting one. Like I said, knowing this, they're in finals. Even if they were to, they might drop down to 4th if Comets get the win. Look, gonna go. I'm thinking along the lines of you said with a draw. To be honest, and I'll go a 2-2 draw as well. Actually,
I'm going to go a 2-1 win for Campbelltown. Hopefully they play players like Baresi and stuff who haven't featured too much in the starting line. Even Malisi maybe, and I reckon they've still got the quality to beat teams that are in the NPL.
Adelaide Comets versus Adelaide United. Adelaide United for me on this one. 2-0.
Depends on who Adelaide United are going to bring down. Are they bringing?
Well, it is
Lukey
interesting
down
as well with the cup game coming up as well. Who's going to get minutes and who will travel?
Are they
over as well.
playing theirs next week as well?
Wednesday?
Yeah. See, well, that's the thing. They'll lose Luca. He's going to. The likelihood is he'll be. I think he's taken the number 9 shirt, so he's going to be starting number 9 for the A League. So there's
they've
no way
also
they're
got
gonna...
Archie Goodwin as well. They've got Archie Goodwin to take up. They've got Amlani Tattoos just come back from nationals as well. Whether or not he
but you're not going to
in the cup.
You've got Goodwin to. Is he more of a striker or a winger though?
Striker out, both out.
Okay.
Jovanovic is probably more of a striker winger, whereas Archie Goodwin is an out and out number 9, pretty much.
See, I would have thought
say.
For me, Luca's an out and out 9. Luca, I wouldn't play Luca on the wing at all. But that's fair enough. Look, so yeah, it's hard with Adelaide United because the Cox
You don't know.
won't play because the likelihood is he'll probably be on the bench.
Yeah.
So the likelihood is he won't play.
If not starting,
and
to be honest.
Possibly, yeah. And that's the thing. As soon as you lose Cox out of that goal for Adelaide United, no offense to the young goalkeepers, but Cox has got the experience. He brings a lot more to that team than what an Oscar Page does at the present moment. I'm not saying Oscar Page is bad or anything like that. I'm just saying he's younger. He's still learning. So is Cox, but he's got that experience. So he adds a lot more depth to that back line. Look, I'm going to go on Adelaide United win. And I'm going to go 1-0. No. Yeah, look, I'm going to go
On
Adelaide
the
United
artificial
1-0.
as well.
Pardon?
At Service FM. It's on the artificial at Service FM, not on the grass. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to go on Adelaide United 1-0 win because I just Comets and 4 draws and a loss in their last 5. They've struggled since Walsh has got injured. Like I said, and we just don't know what Adelaide United are able to use for their A-League side. So I'll just go, like I said, 1-0 win to Adelaide United.
I'm going to go 3-2 win for United.
Adelaide City versus Croydon. I think I'll go City on this one. 2-0.
Neither side are in that great of form at the moment either, to be honest. I mean, Croydon, they won last week. That was against South. They've won 3 in their last 5. City have won 2, lost 2. Croydon, I mean, this is a big game when you look at it because Croydon, effectively, if Croydon win, they go to 28 points. They go 2 above City, knock them down a spot and possibly out of the 5, out of the 6, depending on the Adelaide United results. So it's quite an interesting game, this one. I thought Croydon would struggle without Andre Carl, but last week they seemed to still score 5 goals. So it is a really tight one. I'm going to go a 2-2 draw on this one. City not the best, like two losses on the trot and a big loss last week against Adelaide United. So I'll go a 2-2 draw. They'll get some goals, but it'll be a tight game.
Yeah, I'm going to go a City win, and I'm going to go 3-1.
FK Beograd versus Modbury Jets. Beograd sort of needing some wins to get themselves in the top 6, but I think Modbury will continue at the top with a 3-0 win.
It's at Solution One Park, isn't it? FK Beograd's ground. So that always makes it difficult for a team going from artificial onto their pitch, especially with the current weather that we've had. Doesn't make it as easy to play. But I still think Modbury probably just got enough in the tank to get past FK Beograd. I'm going to go 2-1 to Modbury. And also just quickly a shout out to Adrian Deloyer, who's been confirmed as the coach for another 2 years. I believe it is at FK Beograd. So congratulations there to Adrian and his coaching staff. The club obviously seeing the good that he is doing out there in what's with the last few seasons, and he's able to settle in and hopefully really push them on next year.
I'm going to go a Modbury 3-1 as well for this one.
And lastly, Adelaide Olympic versus Para Hills Knights, a relegation decider, pretty much for both of these teams. For both of them, I think it'll end in a 2-2 draw.
I am going to go with a 3-2 Olympic win.
I'll reverse you there and go Para Hills 3-2.
I think it's just it'll close it up. It'll close the gap. It'll tighten up that relegation battle. And like I said, depending on what happens with the Raiders game as well. So, I said that 3 o'clock kickoff between Raiders and Campbelltown can have a big bearing on that game. It really can. So let's see what happens.
Absolutely. Before we move on to, I guess, the biggest game of the weekend, the WNPL WSL Cup final, throwing in some curveball predictions, not really curveball predictions, but some other ones. We've got Australia Cup action happening next week. Moreton City Excelsior and Campbelltown play against each other, and then Adelaide United play Blacktown City. I mean, I'd imagine we'd probably all predict Campbelltown to go through. Yep. Are we counting these as predictions, Alessio? Are we going to do actual predictions for these?
Is it Wednesday next week, or is it? Or the game? 30th
Campbelltown's Tuesday, and Adelaide United is Wednesday.
So I guess we will put them in here then. Yeah, I guess we'll put them both in here. So what did you want? So for Campbelltown versus Moreton?
3-1 win. Mark?
Campbelltown 2-1.
I'm going to go Campbelltown 4-1.
Nice.
And then, of course, Modbury don't play until the week after, so only other South Australian team is Adelaide United versus Blacktown City. I think these ones are always weird because I never know, but normally I think there's been a few of these games where it's like in the past, Adelaide United have had like, if I remember, like Melbourne Knights we played in like the first round, I think, and that was pretty like a nervous build-up. I think we ended up destroying them like 5-1 in the end.
Didn't they lose a couple of years ago as well in this round?
To Olympic FC or
something like
Queensland?
that. Yeah,
but that's what I mean. I honestly don't know what to expect because it could either be one of those days or it will be sort of one of these where, again, Blacktown have already had a history of doing cup sets. But I think I'll go for an Adelaide United 3-0 win.
I'm going Adelaide United. I just want all the Adelaide teams to go through. So regardless, I don't care really. I want Adelaide United to win.
I want a game here.
I'm going to go 4-1 for Adelaide United.
I'm going to say a Adelaide United win in extra time though, and they're going to win 3-1 in extra time.
Is your boy Danny Choi going to score?
He will.
Second to last, the Matildas, of course, are playing in a tournament which I don't think I've been reading a lot of the rules and regulations around it due to my job. I can't actually say the name of the tournament for the reasons. So they're playing tournament football, we'll refer it to. Germany and Zambia. They are playing Germany on Friday, and then Zambia is Monday, I think. Monday morning, both at 2:30 a.m. Monday morning. I think we will draw with Germany, and I think we'll beat Zambia.
I'll go a 2-2 draw with Germany and a 5-1 win against Zambia.
Yeah, I'll say a 2-1 loss against Germany and then a 3-0 win against Zambia.
Of course, as well, the men's tournament football actually starts tonight. Argentina play Morocco and Uzbekistan play Spain at 10:30. If anybody was interested, we'll go on to, well, I guess the cup final now.
Sorry, what time, Seb? Yeah,
tonight.
Because then I'd determine whether I get up or not.
10:30 tonight. So 10:30, Argentina play Morocco, and Uzbekistan play Spain. Both actually on one of them is, but they're all free to watch. But one of them is on free to air, I believe, on 9Gen.
I may have a look.
Finally, the WMPL and WSL Cup final on Sunday afternoon. A big game. I guess a dominant team so far this year against a team who I guess is sort of just coming into somewhat of form now. I guess we'll have a bit more in-depth predictions. I don't want to go first though, so
we're doing okay. All right, I'll go first.
Take us through the 90 or 120 minutes, Mark.
Oh, look, it's going to be 90 minutes. It's going to be.
Okay.
I'd love to go a cup set. I'd love to see. Like I said, I do enjoy a good cup set. And like I said, Sturt coming into some form to the back end of the season that might see them fight off relegation. And they've had a great cup run. Like, you can't deny they've had what an amazing cup run they've had, considering their league form has been, I'll say poor, because it has been. I mean, they're sitting second from bottom. But going from what Johnny was saying, like I said, the fact that Frank's been able to keep the morale up leading into this cup final, testament to what kind of coach he is. I've got a lot of time for Frank. And so I think they'll put up a good fight over 90 minutes. But when you look at it, West Adelaide, top of the table, they're a fantastic side. Yes, they've lost Quigley, but to be honest, it's. I'd like to say it hasn't
quality
made
all
a
over. There's quality.
Yeah,
all
like
over.
it makes a massive difference to the side, but it doesn't actually affect the side because they've just got quality all over the park. Quigley steps away, who just quietly I think is doing fantastically where she is currently in the UK. I think she scored a couple of goals already in a few games. So shout out to Quigley, doing brilliant stuff there. But you lose a player like that who's just banging goals in for fun, but then you still go and score 5 goals against Adelaide City, and Nicole goes and scores a hat-trick. I mean, you can't say much more about them. I think West Adelaide, for me, will take out the cup, and it'll be in 90 minutes. But I don't think it'll be as easy as what the league suggests. I think it'll be a lot closer. It might only be, I think it will be something like a 3-1 to West Adelaide. But like I said, I just think that Sturt they are coming into some good form, and like I said, enough to stay up, which would have been their aim for the start of the year, would be to stay up. They would never have imagined of making the cup final. It wouldn't have been on their radar to make the cup final. Now that they're there, they'll enjoy it. Great day for them. But like I said, I just think West Adelaide will have just too much all over the park in the end. So, but yeah, 3-1 for me.
What was yours, Sid? Did he say?
He hasn't gone yet.
Oh, he hasn't gone.
I think it will go 120. I think Sturt will score first, but West Adelaide will score after half time-ish because they really come into their second halves lately. They sort of have a poor first half and then come into the second. Sturt will keep them at bay for the second half, go into extra time. And then I think West Adelaide will score 2 in extra time and they'll win 3-1 in the end.
So you got 3-1 in 120 minutes. I've gone 3-1 in 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll just go 3-0 in normal time as well for West Adelaide.
Damn.
Alessio, straight out. Bang.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's all the predictions, and that's pretty much everything I can think of in terms of football happening this week.
In terms of football
so,
happening
yeah.
this week, I believe so.
I reckon so.
Yeah, we got Connie on the Friday night game with Alessio and Shane. Johnny is on a game as well. I think he's on the Raiders game.
I'm looking.
He's either on the Raiders Campbelltown game or the Croydon Adelaide City game. Yep, so he's on the Raiders game at 3:00.
I'm at Adelaide City in Croydon.
Oh, fantastic! I didn't know you were on a game, Seb. So that's great news. Who are you with?
No one at the moment.
No one at the moment? No.
Connie's at Beergrad and Modbury, and then Mark, you've got the big one of the night.
Game with hopefully with Ben Dale at this stage. I just waiting for him to confirm, but it most likely will be if he's willing to jump in the car because he lives down my way, so I'll drive him down. I've already said to him he can jump in the car with me so that he doesn't have to put petrol in the car and stuff like that for the long trek down South Road.
Absolutely. And then, of course, on Sunday, Paul, as always, on the cup final along with Laura Stockdale of Metro United.
I wouldn't expect anyone else. and nor should it be.
Absolutely. I mean, for his sake, I hope it goes to penalties. I guess before we finish off, as usual, anything else to be added on?
Just the regular shout out to TJ Goalkeeping Australia for his sponsorship for our Goalkeeper of the Year award. So if any of you goalkeepers that listen need gloves or anything related to goalkeeping, please reach out to Tassie and TJ Gloves or myself, and I can point you in the right direction.
Used by Premier League keepers, as seen by Joe Gauci starting. Joe Gauci started right. in a friendly
the other night. Yes, so he's still wearing the TJ gloves all the way in the UK, which is fantastic for him and for TJ gloves. I've got my pair of TJ gloves signed by the big man, which is awesome. I will have to get them. I haven't got them framed yet, which I will do. So I was lucky enough. I used to wear TJ myself when I was playing, and reached out to Tassie and said, Tassie, I need a pair of Joe Gauci's. And he said, not a problem. So he got them all, even with the Joe Gauci on the wristband as well for me. And the big man signed them. So I was very happy with that. But if you do need
you can tell people that they were match worn, and he just gave them to you after the game.
Well, do you know what's funny is I was chatting with Gauci actually that night, and he said to me, he goes, "Oh, you should have just told Tassie. I would have given you a match worn pair." And I was like, "Nah, it's all good. I wouldn't push it that far."
You could have just sent there a worn pair and just put him on his hands when he was there, and then just taken them off straight away. Get him a kick. Yeah,
but it's all good. Play kick with Gauci, but no, it's all good. I said signed, and so if you do need any goalkeeping, anything goalkeeping, please reach out.
Alessio, anything from you ahead of the weekend?
No, I'm not on any games besides the Friday night one. I think because we're at Gawler away, so I don't think I'll get back in time or get anywhere before then. So
there's a train.
Yeah,
there's a train.
Yeah. So I just hope for good weather, and hopefully the game on Friday night is a big one as well. So
absolutely, very big week of football ahead. And of sports in general as well. Very much looking forward to it. Probably a few late nights, I imagine, over the next 2 weeks occurring.
For the tournament football.
For the not just the tournament football, but the tournament in whole that is being held in Paris. That's all from us. Thank you for watching and listening. Make sure to follow on Instagram, Spotify, all of those. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you've been watching, Alessio and Mark, thank you for joining me as always.
Thanks.
Cheers for having us.
Thanks for having me as usual.
And of course, thank you to Mark. I already said thank you. God, you don't need a second thank you. Thank you to thank you to as well Johnny and David for joining us earlier on and just popping in. But to you two, thank you for enjoying me. I enjoyed both of you. And I'll see you next week.
Catch up.
I just hit top bins, 1-2 touch, yeah, we're locked in. I got the skills to make the girls sing, and the geezers too, yeah, we're doing this thing.